We get a lot of listener questions and suggestions for deep dives. And this week's batch, wow, you guys really got me thinking. It all has to do with advice everyone's heard probably a bunch of times, especially when you're feeling like you just can't move on. Like someone always says, just let it go.
Oh, yeah. That's like the go-to, isn't it?
Yeah.
When people are trying to help but don't really, know what to say.
Yeah.
Quick fix for anything tough.
Right. And for me, at least, my first thought when I hear that is, okay, believe me, I would love to, but how? How do I actually let it go? Like, it's the answer without the instructions. And it sounds like a lot of you out there have been there too, where you need to move on from something or someone, or even just a thought pattern, but it's like you're anchored to the past. And that's what all your source material tackles, and that's our mission today, to dig deeper than just saying, let it go, and actually find some ways to make it happen, some steps, the how. And what's interesting is your sources actually start by looking at why this whole letting go thing is so hard in the first place.
And that's so important, isn't it? Because if you don't get why something is hard, you can't really fix it. It's like trying to fix a car without looking under the hood. The sources talk about how the stuff we need to let go of, it's not just random junk. These things, events, people, thoughts, they had a big impact on us. They've shaped how we see the world, like our own personal filter.
Totally. It's not just like a little annoyance you can brush off. It's something that went deep and became part of who we are, how we think, the whole landscape of our inner world. And then our minds, they try to protect us, which is good, but sometimes they do it in kind of a weird way. Like they try to bury those painful memories or shove them in a mental closet and lock the door, or they just pretend those things never happened. All so we don't have to feel bad. Like all that hurt, the hits to our self-worth, the feeling of just being uncomfortable or sad, the mind tries to avoid it. I picture it like, how you might have a book you don't want to read anymore, so you put it on the highest shelf and try to forget about it.
Yeah, I get that.
It's kind of like that, but the book's still there, and every now and then you see a title that reminds you of it, and bam, all those old feelings come right back.
And the sources, they really point out how these things we try to bury, they don't just disappear. They're still there under the surface. And like you said, something always comes along to trigger those memories. And when that happens, it's like, boom, the negative feelings hit you with the same force as before. It's like you might forget where you put a landmine, but if you step on it, the explosion's just as bad.
Exactly. So what I found really helped me in the material was how it explained the difference between suppression and really letting go. It's not about pretending something didn't happen or stuffing down the feelings. It's more like you have to actually release the negative energy that's stuck to the memory.
Yeah, that's it. If you could detach the bad feelings, the memory can still be there. It doesn't magically go poof, but it doesn't have that same power over you anymore. And the sources even say, without all that heavy emotion, the memory could even become something you learn from, for the future.
Okay, so we've unpacked the why letting go is tough, that these things are important, our minds try to bury them without much success, and real letting go means releasing the negative emotion, not the memory itself. Now, how do we actually do that? The sources you sent, they have some really cool visualization tools for this. It's like using your mind to help you process these emotions.
It's like instead of avoiding it, you're training your mind to actually do something different when those feelings come up, to actually use a technique instead of just trying to shove the feeling away.
So let's start with this one that really jumped out at me, the cutting cords technique. It's so direct and visual. What'd you think of it?
Well, this one really plays on how we visualize things. It's like, imagine there's a cord, an energy cord connecting you to whatever you need to let go of. This could be, a relationship that ended badly, a mistake you made, or just a thought that keeps popping up and bringing you down. And the thing is, it's not a real cord. It's just a way to picture how strongly you're connected to this thing.
And the source mentions the thickness of the cord matters. Like, did they say anything about what the cord's made of? Could that mean something too? Like different materials for different types of attachments?
That's a good point. They didn't get specific about material, but they said a thicker cord means there's more negativity tied to that connection. Like a thick cord might mean it's a really deep issue, or you've got a lot of strong feelings about it, and that means it'll take more effort to cut. Now that you mention it, thinking about different materials, that could be helpful. Like a sticky cord could be for something you're really clinging to, or a frayed cord might mean the connection's already getting weaker.
Right. And then there's the fun part. The sources said you can use any tool to cut the cord. They even mentioned chainsaws, which is pretty intense.
Yeah, they really went there. But the point is, the tool itself isn't the main thing. It's about finding something that works for you, something that really shows you breaking that connection. Like the chainsaw, yeah, it's extreme, but it gets the idea across like a clean break.
So, how would someone actually use this technique? The source said to do it every night.
Yeah, they suggested taking a few minutes before bed each night just to think about any negative stuff that happened during the day, any bad vibes or arguments or just things that made you feel down. Then picture those cords connecting you to those things and use your chosen tool to cut each cord.
Hmm.
It's symbolic, like you're telling your mind, I'm done with this, I'm letting go. And hopefully that stops it from hanging around in your head while you sleep.
And what if, like, the cords grow back? The source mentioned that happening, especially for things that really got to us.
That makes sense, right? If something was really traumatic or hurtful, those emotions don't just vanish overnight. It takes time. And you might have to keep cutting those cords maybe for weeks or even longer. It's like pulling weeds.
Mm.
You get rid of the ones you see, but sometimes the roots are deep down and they keep coming back.
The source also had this interesting addition. They said you can picture yourself surrounded by white light while you do this. What's that for? Did they say if you could use other colors, like for different moods?
I think that's to add some extra positive energy to the whole thing.
Yeah.
White light, people usually see it as healing and pure and feeling good. So it's like you're letting go of the bad stuff and filling that space with something good. They didn't mention specific colors, but it makes sense to experiment. Like blue might be calming or green for healing. Just go with what feels right for you.
Now, what about those times when you just feel bad or negative, but you can't really figure out why? The source had something for that too.
Ah, yeah, this is cool. They said to follow the cord. Like if you feel a negative connection, but you don't know where it's coming from, try to picture that cord going out from your body and just see where it leads. They said usually the longer the cord, the further back in your past that issue is from. It's like detective work, but for your emotions.
Makes sense. And moving on to some other visualization tools your sources talked about. One that stood out was writing down your negative thoughts and then burning the paper. Like, did they say how to picture the smoke?
I think that one uses the power of fire. Burning is often about getting rid of the bad stuff and becoming clean again.
Yeah.
So when you actually write down those thoughts, those worries, and watch them burn, turn to ash, but like you're really seeing those things disappear. And the smoke, you could imagine it carrying those worries away, dissolving into nothing, or even turning into something good, like light.
It's like you're making it real, that intention to let go, by actually doing something. And they also had this image of a paper boat.
Yeah, the paper boat is kind of similar, right? It's like something floating away from you, taking the bad stuff with it. You write down what you want to let go of on this little boat, and as it drifts away, you picture all that negativity going with it. The water, too, it's gentle, so it could be a softer way of letting go compared to like cutting or burning.
So it seems like the exact method you use, it's not as important as just picturing that negativity leaving you.
Right. The sources were pretty clear about that. They said the most important thing is the visualization itself and meaning it. Find a way that works for you, that helps your mind see those things detaching and going away.
And they really hammered this one point home, like, any of these techniques, you got to do them over and over again for them to work.
Repetition, right?
Yeah.
Just like anything you want to learn, you got to practice. The more you use these visualizations, the better your mind gets at them.
Yeah.
It becomes more natural to do this when you're feeling bad instead of just trying to push it down.
Now, before we get too far into this, the sources have this important disclaimer we got to mention.
Yeah, we have to say these visualizations, they can be really helpful, but they're not a replacement for seeing a therapist or a doctor, especially if you're dealing with serious mental health stuff, trauma, or just feeling overwhelmed. If you need professional help, please get it. These techniques are great, but they're not a substitute for real expert advice.
Totally agree. So coming back to what we were saying at the beginning, now we kind of understand why just saying let it go isn't helpful. But these tools your sources gave us, they offer a path forward, something you can actually do.
It's about having those concrete steps, right? Instead of just a vague idea, you've got a plan.
And it's interesting, one of the sources, they presented it as a conversation between these two people, Alex and Iris, talking about how tough letting go is and how important it is to ask how. That's really what we're doing here today.
Yeah, it's like everyone struggles with this, and it's okay to want to know how to do it better.
And one last thing, one of the sources mentioned some extra resources for people who want to learn more.
Right, they talked about this website, Amarae. It's www.amarae.net. And they also have a YouTube channel and Facebook page, both called Amarae Inspirational. Might have some more helpful info on this topic.
So wrapping it all up, it's clear letting go isn't something that just happens because you want it to. It takes effort. Like you've got to really engage with your thoughts and feelings, and these visualization tools can help you do that.
What I find so cool about all this is once you get why letting go is hard and you have tools to work with, it doesn't feel so overwhelming. You actually start feeling like you have some control over your emotions.
Exactly. So as you think about everything we've talked about, consider which of these techniques feels right for you. Maybe it's cutting those cords, maybe it's burning away your worries, or maybe it's gently sending them away on a boat. Whatever works best for you, give it a try, practice it. And now that you've got some tools, what will you choose to release?